There's actually only a very small amount of damp in this Victorian house. However, there are greater concerns, and if you look at the next video, you'll find that it was in the same street with very similar problems, which suggests that there may be some additional issues to confront. Immediately opposite the damp patch internally on the outside, you see there's a crack there, and it's been painted. There's these calcium sulfate salts that have been painted over. I think that the paint here is allowing absorption of moisture, and I think what's happened is that in the past there's been impermeable paint or semi-permeable paint, and a more permeable paint has been painted over probably 3 years ago when you bought the property, and it's allowing absorption of moisture, and then it can't escape. This is render, a plinth, and this is blocking the escape of moisture, so it's having to go inside. So I don't think it's specifically that. I think it's the paint, but obviously you want to deal with that. So that's the worst of it is just here. If I use, I'm going to recommend you get one of these, but you can see it's down there. Well, so that would be the standard, is 23 on this one. If you look here on your, I told you about the neighbour side, but you can see you're getting micro cracking here. This should be painted over. If I look up at your guttering, I suspect your neighbour is getting a bit of overflow. And if you look on their side, they've got a prime example here of where the paint has come away and water's got in. And it's quite rough. You see, so there as well. But that's clearly not affecting this wall, the wall on the inside. Now, there's another zone here, and it's not discoloured on the inside. So it may be that what's happening is you're just getting some moisture causing dampness on this brick, and a damp brick is a poor insulator and causes increased heat loss and increases the risk of condensation. We'll look at that internally now. So obviously this brick is exposed, but it's quite a long way from the inside, so it's probably just being absorbed through this area. Like a lot of London, there is no risk of groundwater, the root cause of rising damp. However, there is dampness under the floor. There is a slight risk of flooding. However, this is penetrating damp rather than groundwater. And so I investigated for a leak. The water has dropped quite dramatically. In fact, that's the amount of water that's coming out. But it can be benign. It could be caused by a drip on a toilet cistern or a tap, a shower head. So I'll go and have a look. What we've done is we've turned off the internal stopcock, and there's no drop in the water level, which means that the leak has to be the other side of the stopcock, which is here. So we're going in under the floor. So we're looking under the house now, and there's a pool of water. I'm going to crawl over. This is the water system. I think we're going to go over there. A lot of the timber's been replaced here, which means that this was probably rot at some stage. It's rot there. White rot. It's on a piece of timber that's been replaced. Oh look, you're getting condensation on the brickwork. You
You see that? It's condensation. My finger's wet now. And there's the damp-proof course. This is the cold water pipe. Let's see if we can trace it. This is the old lead. There is an argument for changing it. The pipe has been replaced here. These pipes, I mean, I can't see. There's a glistening under there, which is never a good sign. Arguably, it's a bit damper underneath that join. A lot of pipe work, very little insulation as well. And also, just to know, there's no through flow because there's an extension. So, oh look, this bit of timber looks... maybe that's just tar. Doesn't look particularly healthy there, but that could be because it's outside. Oh yeah, you can see the vent, so that's going to increase the moisture coming in. It's the old chimney breast. You can see where the dampness is. I'll just do a bit more filming underneath, just so you know what it is. Because it's plastic, you can see condensation on there. Inside, forms inside plastic. This property actually had a leak between the front and the internal. And actually, if you look at this wall here, it's much worse on your neighbour's side, or on the party wall, which could mean that actually the leak is on your neighbour's side and would account for the dampness of your subfloor. But you don't, because of the extension, your ventilation is restricted. It's not completely. And you've got the front ventilation is fine, so you've got restriction. So that you'll see the film that I showed you, and it would it would exacerbate the problems. But do you see how?
Yes, it's much worse here.
Do you see how the dampness is making it worse? Well, I think that's what it is. I think the bricks have become damp from the inside. Right. They bypass the damp-proof course, and they're absorbed upwards. So I'm hoping that the drop in pressure was benign in the first instance. Okay. It may have been something to do with the tan. So there's a pool of water underneath the property which could be caused by a leak. I've tested the water pressure and there appears to be a drop in pressure. You've got the old lead pipe that joins a new plastic pipe. I couldn't see a leak, but I think a plumber should have a look to see if they can identify if there is a benign cause of pressure loss or indeed there is a leak, and obviously fix it. A few doors down from you, the property I saw after this one had the council repair a leaking street side drain pipe. It's possible that you also have a leaking street side drain pipe, and that could account for the water sitting underneath the property. Either way, you need to improve the ventilation in the subfloor void, and I'm going to give you some recommendations for that.